You're watching Sterling High School Channel 19, serving Hynella, Laurel Springs, Magnolia, Summerdale, and Stratford. Mobile television production facilities for this broadcast are made possible by a grant from Walmart. Walmart, with their location on the Whitehorse Pike in Summerdale.
Second home game of the 2019 season here on Channel 19. Rob Strauss, Kevin Schulz, and John Hallwood. Sterling taking on the Haddon Heights Garnets. Glad you joined us here on Channel 19 and watching on YouTube as well. Weather tonight, absolutely perfect conditions for football. 71 degrees, a little bit of a light breeze, low humidity, and not a cloud in the sky here tonight, though we do have some clouds moving in a little bit later. Taking a look at the West Jersey Football League Colonial standings, Haddonfield on top, who defeated these same Silver Knights last week 19-6. Sterling right there in the middle, so a big conference game in terms of standings here for Sterling here tonight. As we flip over to the other side of the brackets, where you can find the Haddon Heights Garnets. They come into this game 0-1 on the season, and had their bye week. And so they're done. They're playing games from here on out. And Gateway on top. And it's great to see the Gators up there at 2-0. A team that, program that has struggled in years past. Nice to see them back on the top of the standings, at least for a little while. Take a look at these two teams in comparison. Last 10 games, Haddon Heights leading this series 6-4. Sterling won last year, decisive fashion on the road on a Saturday game, Schulze. And the last time Haddon Heights won a game, we got to go back 7 years ago, a close one, 23-14.
Yeah, they had a lot of those wins. Obviously got 6-4 earlier in this 10-year period, but Sterling's pretty much dominated over the last few years. There you look at Sterling getting 20 points per game, Haddon Heights at 14. Defensively, Sterling's allowing 13, Haddon Heights allowing 26. Of course, they went against a very good Paulsboro team last week. Sterling 1-0 at home, and Haddon Heights hadn't played home yet.
Look at the overall record of these two squads. Sterling, a 43% winning percentage. Haddon Heights, 40%. Really, a really unique statistic here. Kudos to Mr. K and the rest of the crew here, putting all these stats together, and just really a storied rivalry between these two teams that are separated by probably about 5 or 6 miles.
And a lot of the kids know each other. You figure they basically, their sending districts border each other when you talk about Lawnside and Magnolia. So these kids, most of them know each other. A lot of them play in basketball leagues with each other.
Haddon Heights will kick off to open the game. Back deep to receive for Sterling. Trey Potts, as well as a very, very dangerous Shane L. See if they kick it to Shane L. I wouldn't. If they've seen the tape, I would be kicking to the far side of the field. Let's see what the Garnets do. They do kick towards Trey Potts. He's going to take it on a bounce at about the 17. Has a seam momentarily, and he's tackled from behind, just shy of the 35-yard line. Take a look at these starters for the Sterling Silver Knights. The sophomore, outstanding sophomore, Jeremiah Thompson, under center. And we talked about the combo that he has with Mike Estremera, a wonderful connection that these two have. And then you've got your triple threat in the backfield, Jake Johnson, L.J. Williams, Jameer Richardson, and then that strong offensive line, Jason Schulz rounding out the tight end position. 1st and 10 for Sterling, just shy of the 35-yard line. First offensive play from scrimmage, gonna be a handoff to the left side, plenty of room. Breaking a tackle is L.J. Williams. L.J. Williams is gonna take the opening play to the house for the touchdown. 65 yards.
First play of the game, number 8, L.J. Williams.
Well, Sterling, a team that likes to throw the ball, have the ability to throw the ball deep, but they want to establish that running game, and boy, did they do it in a big way. Going off to that left side, you saw them double team to the point of attack. You had a nice kick out block right there by Jacob Johnson, and L.J. Williams gets the afterburners going, and he's gone.
And that's how you really want to start out a football game. First play, touchdown.
Once he broke through that first level, he really turned on the Jets, and that took care of that. Dylan Jess on to attempt the extra point, and a false start. It's going to back him up 5 yards.
Penalty. False start.
So they will try. This will be a challenge for Dylan Jess. Not often you see a lineman out there as your kicker, but has done a pretty good job this season for the Silver Knights. It's going to be a long extra point. The snap, the hold, the kick is up, and the kick is absolutely perfect by Dylan Jess. 7-0 Sterling, 11:43 left to go in the first.
There we see the ground view. You're going to see L.J. Williams coming right in your living room right here. When L.J. Williams gets ahead of most defensive backs, he's going to get to the house. You saw Sean Presley, a kid who we had talked about in the pregame, almost caught up to him, but Williams has got a lot of speed, and you always had the breakaway threat. But one thing I like about him this year, and we saw the breakaway threat right here, but he also is doing a much better job of running lower and taking on contact. Didn't really see that there, but that's something that we've seen throughout the first couple games, and that just adds a whole new dimension to his game.
The funny thing is, Schulz, he's not even the fastest guy in that backfield.
Yeah.
With all due respect to L.J. Williams, Shane L is a dangerous threat back there. And once he breaks free, forget about it. L.J., look at the cut right there. And you could almost see the trail of, we'll call it dust.
Yeah. Completely took the linebackers out of the equation right there. And, you know, like we said, they want to establish the run game in this game. There's no better way to do it than what they did right there in the first play from scrimmage.
Dylan Jess, who just hit the extra point on the kickoff. High end-over-end kick taken at the 10 by Haddon Heights. Off the left-hand side, still on his feet, across the 30, across the 40, across the 50. A little bit of daylight for the Heights. Makes a nice cut inside, now going to move it to the near side, and finally tackled by Shane L. A beautiful return by Heights gives the Garnets excellent field position. It's Isaiah Turner on the return.
And if there's one area Sterling's been, or one of the many areas Sterling's been very strong this year, it's been on coverage on the kickoff teams and the punt teams. So that's very uncharacteristic of what we've seen in the first few games here. They just didn't stay in their lanes, and Heights obviously has got some speed and the ability to cut back against the grain, and you really saw that right there.
Credit Shane L on the touchdown saving tackle.
And the drive in Sterling territory.
No problem with the chain gang now. I think they're finally set. 1st and 10 from the 34. Exciting start to this one. Operating from the shotgun, 2 receivers far side. 1 back to the left. And it's going to be a quarterback keeper. Right about 7 or 8 yards, again tackled by Shane L. That's Joshua Harriel on the keeper.
Well, that's one of those plays where you see Shane L come in here, but they had trips left, so you really didn't have too much other than the linebackers right there, and went back, saw that seam, and was able to have a nice run out to the left-hand side.
Potts was slow to get up that last play.
Second down, and we'll call it a short 2 for the Garnets. Ariel on the keeper is going to have the first down right up the middle and tackled nicely there by, I believe that is Jahad Cook Graham, who stood up Ariel.
Yeah, nice tackle here by Graham, but again, Ariel is able to get upfield and just get something from just a little window of opportunity right there up the middle. And Heights, not only did they get the opening kickoff, but they're moving the ball against this Sterling defense.
In the red zone now a whistle. Official timeout. Have everything in order now. Now back to live action. 1st and 10 from the 19. Ariel from the shotgun, going to keep it himself. Cut to the near side. He's got a little bit of space. Cuts it back inside. Tackled inside the 10, down to about the 7 by Shaynell.
Now you can see early on here, they're really riding the legs of Ariel, and he's going to go to the weak side. You have everybody covering. The receivers on the left side's got a lot of room, and this is a kid who can get upfield in a hurry. And you see it kind of lowered the helmet into the chest right there.
1st and 6. Excuse me, 1st and goal from the 6. Harry going to keep it and call his own number, and he is close to the end zone. Is he in? Yes, he is. From 6 yards out. Only took about a half dozen plays, but the Garnets are 1 point away from tying this game up.
Yeah, and you know, we talked about how the defensive line was the strength of this team, especially last week. Did a good job stopping Haddon throughout the game. And you're going to see right here, they just go with Ariel right up the middle, and he basically was their go-to guy in that drive, a drive where they had outstanding field position off the kickoff.
Penalty marker again on back-to-back extra points. We'll take a look at, that's going to be against Sterling. So they'll move it up about a half a foot. Not the defensive start you wanted here. If you're Sterling, you take the first play from scrimmage, 65 yards, and if you get a defensive stop here, you really change the momentum of the game,
yeah,
especially at home. Comes a snap, the hold, the kick is up, and the kick is absolutely perfect. 7-7, 9:26 left to go here in the first. Sterling and Haddon Heights all knotted up.
Well, here you see the replay. Ariel getting the ball and just doing a great job going to that left side, breaking a tackle and getting in. And you know what he does back there, Rob, is he does an outstanding job of reading what's in front of him. I don't know that on a lot of these plays there's preset holes. He just reacts to what the defense gives him and just does a great job of reading the blocks in front of him.
For the season, Haddon Heights, 32 carries, 184 yards, and 2 touchdowns.
So Sterling right now, as amped up as they were early on with a nice kickoff return, obviously that big run on the first play from scrimmage. Right now, Haddon Heights, you've got to say, the 7-7 game has the momentum from an emotion standpoint, what they were able to do with the kickoff return and that drive for the touchdown.
Interesting start to this game. Really, really dulled this crowd. And a standing room only here, at least in front of us. Everybody's standing in front of us.
Yeah, it was as loud as it's been in a while here.
Yeah.
And now it's almost like a stunned silence.
Probably could hear crickets.
Van Instadal to kick off.
There's
And
the crowd right there.
We are
People
concentrated.
filing in.
Great student section for the second home game of the season. First home game came on like the 3rd day of school and still had a really good crowd. Students have had a couple weeks to settle in, and they're making their presence felt here early on tonight. Little low line drive. That ball is live. It's on the ground. Sterling falls on it. Interesting design play. Sterling gonna have excellent field position, almost exactly where they started their last drive. This time they're inside the 35, 1st and 10 from the 36.
And I would be surprised if you saw that even more now. They're not going to want to get the ball to Trey Potts or Shane L. deep.
That went off the hands of David Barber, a junior running back slash linebacker. And fortunately, there were some Silver Knights there to clean up. 1st and 10 for Sterling. Scholl's going to line up in his tight end spot on the near side. Inside, little misdirection, nowhere to go is Shane L.
Well, Heights right now is playing with a lot of emotion, and what they were able to do on that drive kind of transpired over
Check that's
to
Richardson
this
on the
first
carry.
play on the defensive side.
That was Richardson on the carry, barely got a yard. And he lines up behind Thompson again. Now they're going to shift everything around. Thompson, the lone back in the backfield. 2 receivers near side. They're going to put 1 receiver in motion. And getting the carry is L.J. Williams, and he's stopped in the backfield for a loss of 6.
And that was to Sean Presley, and you could see Heights right now looked like Presley came in on a blitz from the linebacker position. And we talked about his speed in the open field, but as a defender, you see him get great upfield penetration right here and get in the backfield.
3rd down and 16, ball at the 30-yard line. Just about 8 minutes and 10 seconds remaining here in the opening quarter. Back to pass is Thompson, pumps once, and now puts it up well over the head of the intended receiver, L.J. Williams, and incomplete, and the Garnet defense holds to a 3 and out.
Incomplete, bringing up 4th down.
Yeah, you see right here they go with that go route on the left-hand side, and the receiver just got caught up a little bit in the early part of that route. Never even got it close to the ball.
Presley back deep to receive inside his own 40. Keep an eye on that. Jacob Johnson running back onto the field as a late addition to the Sterling punt team. Good snap. Heights getting after it. A high end-over-end kick takes a bounce, and Sterling falls on it inside their own territory at the 48. Not a great punt. Only a net of about 20 yards.
Well, after the first play of the game for a touchdown, it's been all Haddon Heights from a momentum standpoint. You get the ball after a real nice run back in the Sterling end of the field and impose your will on the Sterling defense and get that first score. And then now you've got great field position here on the Sterling 48-yard line.
1st and 10 for the Garnets inside Sterling territory. 7:48 remaining here in the first. Glad you joined us here on Channel 19 if you're watching at home in the area or if you're watching abroad on YouTube. 3 receivers to the near side now on 1st and 10 for the Garnets. Ariel from the shotgun takes a snap, going to keep it himself all the way, design run, and he's able to gain about 1 or 2 before he's tackled by Shane L as well as David Barber.
Rob, we were talking about how well Ariel reads the blocks in front of him, and I think the way to beat a kid like this, especially on a run to the outside, is just by getting a lot of bodies out there. And what they had there was a good push, a good job of the defensive line holding up the offensive line. They created that lane for the linebackers to get out there and really kind of box in Harrell.
They're going to put trips to the far side on this 2nd down and 8. Ariel from the shotgun going to keep it himself. A little movement before that. No penalty flag on the field. And Ariel trying to approach the 40. He's going to fall just shy. And some extracurriculars now going on the far side of the field between Presley and I believe that's Cook Graham on that far side.
Yeah, well, you could see right there, that was a run right from the get-go. He just got it, went upfield, and he's got a quick first step and gets up there in a hurry. We always talk about when you have those backs like that, it's great for offensive linemen. They don't have to hold their backs, their blocks that long.
3rd down and 3, ball at the 42. 6.25 minutes remaining here in a 7-7 game. 3 receivers to the near side. Harrell takes the long snap, pass complete to Presley. Excuse me, that's Turner, I believe. And he stopped short.
And you saw Shane L getting in there, a lot of bodies around there. You can see they're going to do anything they can to get the ball to Shane L in space. And again, Sterling right there did an outstanding job getting a lot of bodies out there. Much the same way you need to get bodies on Harry L when he goes to the outside on that run.
I tell you what, that's a great tackle by a 5'9", 155-pound defensive player for Sterling. Wrapped up. He's had a lot of really good tackles here tonight.
He's been outstanding the last 2 years.
Punt away, takes a Heights bounce inside the 10. And right about the 10-yard line is where Sterling will take over, pinned in their own territory, 90 yards from a touchdown. And you want to check out some highlights on YouTube. Might see that one of those Shane L tackles we talked about earlier. I'm sure you're going to see the 65-yard touchdown run to open this game on the first offensive play. Check us out on youtube.com/Sterling TV 19. Not just sports and stuff, all sorts of commercials and PSAs that the students make, as well as other happenings here on the campus of Sterling High School. Handoff to the near side. Short gain on the play.
And obviously, deep in your own end, you want to give yourself some space back there. But I think right now, you need that first down. And if you get that, to me, that's going to go a long way in getting this offense into that rhythm that we've seen at times in the first 2 games of the season.
Gain of 2 by L.J. Williams under the 5-minute mark here in the first quarter. Thompson under center. Going to put Jacob Johnson in motion. L.J. Williams again on the carry. Has the first down out to the 25, maybe the 26. And Jacob Johnson having some words with the defense of Haddon Heights.
Yeah, that's what Sterling is going to have to do. You saw them double team at the point of attack and completely took the linebackers out of the play, and that's why you were able to see Williams get to that second level.
Fresh set of downs for the Silver Knights. Thompson back to pass. Out into the flat, well over the head of the intended receiver, L.J. Williams. Jeremiah Thompson, the sophomore, having some troubles in the air early on here tonight.
Yeah, he's a kid. Once he completes that first pass, and we're talking about the offense getting in a rhythm, he can get in that rhythm where he's very dangerous, puts the ball on the money, and can really throw a good long ball.
After the incompletion, 2nd down and 10. That's Jameer Richardson on the carry for a handful of yards. Maybe a little less. It's going to bring up a 3rd and a little bit more manageable. We'll call it 3rd and 5.
Yeah, that's how you get these ball control drives. You said it, Rob. Get into 3rd and manageable situations. You establish the ground game, and in my mind, that's going to go a long way in wearing down this defense. You got guys, a lot of guys playing on both sides of the ball. That's going to affect also what they do on the offensive side of the ball.
Big 3rd down for Sterling. Heights showing blitz. Pass by Richardson on the way, and it's incomplete by almost in and out of the hands. Intended for Mike Estremera, and Thompson looking for that connection that they had a couple weeks ago. Could not connect here, just off the fingertips.
Now, they're 2 guys who've connected for 3 scores already, and just a little wide. But again, Thompson's a kid. Once he gets into that rhythm, next time you see that throw, he's going to put it right on the numbers.
I tell you what, and if that was right on the numbers, that's an easy 6 points for Mike Estremera. Penalty marker on the field on the punt, and if it's against Heights, that's going to give Sterling a 1st down. substitution penalty.
Wow, boy, that's
a killer.
That is against Heights, they're saying?
It is.
Wow, wow, wow.
Now, is this one of these ones where they have to measure for it? I think the official is going to take a look at it. It is a first down. That's
and
one
you're breathing new life into that Sterling offense. And you know what I talked about, it's tougher to play on the defensive side of the ball. The longer you're out there, the more it's going to wear on you.
Fresh set of downs. A very fortunate situation here for Sterling as Johnson is escaping one, maybe two, and gets a first down. Jacob Johnson for 11. Beautiful carry there by Johnson. Looks like he was dead to rights in the backfield. Somehow escapes.
Guys, there you see the physicality of Jacob Johnson going to the right-hand side, taking on contact, and this is what you want from your fullback. Keeping the legs going, taking some people with him, getting a couple extra yards as he's going down.
Just able to get through that Haddon Heights defense easily.
Thompson under center on 1st and 10. Going to put Johnson in motion. Carry's going to go to Jameer Richardson on the carry. A nice carry again by Jameer Richardson. It looks like he's almost playing the fullback position there, Schulze, able to pick up about 7.
And Richardson really came on in the second half last week, ran with a lot of confidence. You're seeing what Sterling's doing right now. They're taking the linebackers out of the game in a lot of creative ways. You saw them double team at the point of attack up front. There you saw him put Jacob Johnson in motion, and he went down and cut off the middle linebacker, allowing Richardson to get up that left side.
2nd down and 3. Sterling in Heights territory. A little misdirection again. They're going to hand this one to L.J. Williams, who picks up the first down and keeps the chains moving. Now, how important was that penalty against Heights? Now they're keeping their defense out on the field for some additional time.
This play, as long as you're able to connect on the handoff, and of course, you know, it's something that it's a little bit of the element of surprise. You go right, come the other way. Works when you show it for the first time, just about every time. I mean, you have a defense that's amped up. They overplay the play, go one way, and you come back the other way, and you're able to get a first down.
1st and 10 at the 41 for Sterling. Thompson under center. One receiver on the far side. They're going to put L.J. Williams in motion. Williams open up in the flat. Thompson doesn't see him. He's going to go across the middle. Has Estremera wide open. Touchdown! 41 yards.
That's almost like an Aaron Rodgers Hail Mary. He said, here you go, Estremera, go and catch it.
Well, if there's one thing you would have learned from watching the films, or you think you would have learned, is to watch Mike Estremera deep, and he got behind 2 defenders, and Jeremiah Thompson got it right to him. You know, we talked about him getting in a rhythm, getting the ball there, something you feel like he can do, and that was just a great throw. And this kid already, right now, you have a feel like he's getting into that rhythm of throwing.
And it's another penalty for Sterling for a full start.
What a cannon. Had Schulze in the vicinity as well. And he also had somebody out in the flat. Jacob Johnson wide open in the flat as well. Decided the deep option, and it paid off.
And the other thing I'm impressed with, and you watch it right here, is the pocket presence. Goes to straight back. He had an opening there and moved a little bit to the right and kind of bought some extra time for Estremera. And that's the 4th touchdown for Mike Estremera in 3 games.
We called this in the opener when they connected twice for scores. And it's going to be an interesting. Estremera took a touchdown away from your son, I think.
Yeah, well, I think we're still well. We'll take it. We'll take it.
I'm sure that was designed for Jason the entire way.
And I'll tell you what, a much needed drive on the first part of it. And then from a standpoint of confidence for Jeremiah Thompson, having him get that first throw be a touchdown.
Dylan Jess on to attempt the extra point. Connected on his first attempt. This one is low and no good. 13-7, Sterling, 1:32 left to go in the first quarter.
And let's not mention how much time Thompson had in that pocket. To find Estremera, that tells you that your offensive line is doing something great.
The line did an outstanding job right there. And I'll go back to us running the ball, the first part of that drive, wearing them down a little bit, putting them back on their heels, and have that same penetration into the backfield that you saw earlier in the game.
One more look at it, going to come right into your living room here. Plenty of time in the pocket. You can see the play develop. Schulz putting his arm up. And now all of a sudden on the left-hand part of your screen, Estremera right there for it.
Yeah, you know, I know we were focusing on the receivers right there. I like the pocket presence I saw from Jeremiah Thompson. Looking downfield, eyes downfield, just felt the pocket, moved to the outside, adjusted a little bit, extended the play, and threw a bullet.
Kickoff taken on the hop at the 15-yard line and swallowed up at the 25. Heights really reeling after that penalty, and that cost them 7 points.
And this is where the defense has to take over. And Rob, over the course of the past 2 games, I feel like the defense has been the strength of this team. Obviously struggled early on in that drive for a touchdown by Heights, but right now the defense has got to stop and turn the ball over the offense and really establish something here.
1st and 10 for the Garnets at their own 26-yard line. Again, 3 receiver look for the Garnets from the shotgun is Harriel. Going to keep it himself. He's crossed the 30, crossed the 35, crossed the 40, and pushed out of bounds at about the 47. The play that really got them going was all Harriel, and it seemed to work there for about 20.
There's not too much creativity to what they're doing right here. Harriel gets the ball, looks for an opening, uses his speed, and gets there. I mean, it's that plain and simple.
Gain of 21 for Harriel, and he's just shy of midfield.
And to stop a kid like Harriel, we always talk about it, that you need to get that upfield penetration into the offensive backfield.
Harry going to call his own number again and get just to that midfield stripe. Gain of 3. Under a minute left to go here in this opening quarter. It's been entertaining. Sterling 13, Haddon Heights 7.
And you have to think maybe at some point Sterling might come up with a blitz or a stunt up front in an effort to gain penetration to get to Harriel before he gets going upfield.
Presley going to line up in the slot. Penalty marker thrown. I think there's some movement on the Haddon Heights line. Indeed it is. And it will back him up 5. 2nd down and 12 on the way. Haddonfield leading 7-0 in the first. Some scores around the league. Second down and 12 now. Harriel under center this time. Gonna pitch it off to the side. And being swallowed up quickly there is Jackson Ferrante for a loss on the play of about 3.
And guys, here's that great upfield penetration that we were talking about on the pitch to the outside. You see a couple bodies get in there, and he had no shot trying to cut upfield.
We'll get off to a quick break. 13-7 Sterling after 1. You're watching live coverage of Sterling football right here on Channel 19.
Yeah, I guess you could say that.
I guess you guys are still fighting.
Yeah.
(13-7) Sterling as we enter the second quarter here. Rob Strauss, Kevin Schulz, John Hallwood, and a very entertaining first quarter of action there tonight, Schulze.
Yeah, and in this third long situation, you have to feel like this is a situation that's got Deshaun Presley written all over it. So I have to feel in that break that they're going to find a way to get the ball to him somehow.
Arrow from the oh, the different look now. It's at quarterback. It's Ryan Diorio. Pass is complete. Has a man, and it's going to be 6 points. The game is tied. Penalty marker on the field. That's going to be for taunting, but finds Gabriel DiGiovanni for the touchdown.
And you thought they were going to go to Presley. I think Sterling thought that, but Giovanni just cut right across the middle, and they hit him in stride. You had two defenders look like they got caught up, slammed into each other, and Giovanni just jogged into the end zone.
Giovanni got a penalty for taunting the Sterling sideline on his way into the end zone. You could see it right here. He's going to look. There it is, and that's a penalty. That's an easy call for the official right there. Big extra point here for Sterling, or excuse me, for Heights to take the lead. Lefty kicker too, high snap, kick is up, and the kick is no good. So the game remains tied. Has a chance for Heights to take the lead, but could not convert. We're taking a look at the touchdown.
Well, we were told about Heights and the playmakers they have. We've seen Presley in the past, and obviously Sterling was keying on him. Lost track of Giovanni, and Giovanni gets the ball and goes, what, about 55 yards for a touchdown. And that's the thing with that crossing pattern right here. You miss them right there. There's a lot of people off to that other side. You don't have that second level defense because I think Sterling was really focusing on Presley off to that right side. A lot of bodies over there. Give Heights credit. You know, coming in this game, obviously they were the underdog coming in here. You had a lot of noise. You had that opening play. And they're going to say the penalty is going to be on the kick. So, boy, that's a big one because Sterling figures to get real good field position here.
Tell you what, you look at the penalty that kept the Heights defense on the field. Here's another penalty that could result in points on the board for Sterling. And if you're a Heights fan, you go back and look at the film tomorrow morning. That's two big penalties.
We've seen penalties in these first 3 games of the year really hurt teams. I know Haddon had 2 penalties on one play, and we're in the midst of stopping a Sterling team. That it keeps the drives going, and right here, this penalty's going to add up, or should add up, to good field position for Sterling.
Low line drive kickoff, taken on the hop by Trey Potts. Potts absolutely buried just shy of the 45-yard line. He took a a licking, but he got up.
But again, real good field position for Sterling at their own 45-yard line. And it's going to be interesting to see how they react, again, to a team where Sterling was the favorite coming in this game, but going against a team that's got a lot of fight, and they're not backing down. So Sterling's really got to get things into another gear here.
1st and 10 for Sterling. Thompson under center, going to put Potts in motion. He's going to get the carry off to that left side. Has a little bit of space. He's across midfield, inside the 50, down to about the 45, and a 1st down. Potts picks up 11.
And we talked about how Harry L from Haddon Heights reads what's in front of him. I think you saw this right here on the Sterling side. Trey Potts right there, going laterally, allowing for that hole to develop, shoots upfield, is able to get a 1st down.
Got to be tough to scheme against this offense when you have so many weapons in that backfield that can run the ball and run the ball well. Saw a heavy dose of Jameer Richardson in that 1st quarter. Now you're seeing a little bit of Trey Potts, who's in motion again on 1st down. He will get the carry. And he picks up some positive yardage again as he approaches the 40-yard line, gain of about 4.
And this is what Sterling has to get back to, taking the linebackers out of the play, not allowing them to get that flow. Again, this is a team that up front has been doing a great job of double teaming to the point of attack.
2nd down and 7. Thompson back to pass. He's being pressured and he goes down. Shoestring tackle for what may be a sack by Justin McKay.
Yeah, Thompson was looking for Estremera on that right side. Looked like he was in a go route and stepped up in the pocket and almost got away. And he had some room in front of him.
I think Thompson may have picked up a yard to avoid the sack. So it'll be a 3rd down and about 5.
Again, 3rd and manageable.
Ball right at the 40-yard line. Heights making some changes on their defensive line prior to the snap. Thompson, man in motion. Jacob Johnson, he is swallowed up in the backfield for a loss on the play of about 1. And that should bring out, well, maybe not.
Nah,
I mean,
think this is going to be 4-down territory here at the 40-yard line. And you could see Heights, that was a real nice call on the defensive side of the ball. It looked like they spun it to the outside in an effort to gain penetration and were able to slow up Jacob Johnson.
Estremera getting the call from head coach Dan Harris. Going to send it into Thompson. And keep an eye on number 1 in blue. And he's going to line up in that far side on a 4th down and a long 4. 9 minutes remaining here in the half. Sterling and Heights tied at 13. Thompson back to pass out in the flat, has a man complete in Jacob Johnson, pushed out of bounds on a 4th down conversion just about the 25-yard line. And they pick up the 1st down. Gutsy call by Coach Harris.
And this is a real good call, too, because you had the receivers kind of go upfield, flood everybody out. Jacob Johnson, a kid who we saw run, and also right there do a nice job catching the ball out of the backfield. That's just a huge 1st down for Sterling here.
Johnson pushed out of bounds before the 25, pushed out of bounds at about the 30, but a fresh set of downs for Sterling. Potts on the carry on the far side, and he spun around and hit, but a nice gain there of about 5 by Trey Potts. And we called, we called Jameer Richardson in that 1st, and now we're calling Trey Potts in the 2nd.
And you see them right here doing a good job carrying out their fakes, and when they're not sure who has the ball, in my mind, that goes a long way in having that safety. A lot of times, if they know where the ball's going, can come up as a run stopper, have to hesitate just a split second. That's going to leave a little more room off to that left side.
2nd down and 5. Well, confusion there in the backfield, and that's going to give the Haddon Heights defense a chance to swallow up the running back in the backfield there for a short loss on the play of about 2.
Yeah, you'll see right here, again, when Haddon Heights has success, it's due to some penetration into the backfield. And I think the defensive lineman getting in there kind of We threw a little bit of monkey wrench into that handoff, and Heights, again, gained penetration, but just not able to do it on a consistent basis.
Third down and
Paul
6.
Daniel here, coming up to the booth.
Thompson, back to pass it, looking in the flat, has a man complete, feet down, and that is a catch. Brandon Grace, the senior wide receiver, chimes in for first down.
Yeah, and that's the second time we've seen that, have the receivers go up the middle, kind of clears out that right side. You first saw it with Johnson as a back coming out of the backfield. There you see it with Grace, and a real nice throw by Thompson, and outstanding catch there by Brandon Grace.
First and 10 from the 15, Sterling on the move. Thompson going to put L.J. Williams in motion, and a penalty marker on the play at the 7:03 mark. And an offside penalty against Heights, and another penalty in key situations here. I mean, there's never a good time for a penalty, but it seems like Heights here, you know, getting the penalties at really the worst possible times.
And usually, I know we had to, okay, he jumped. I thought it was encroachment, but he jumped right there.
First and 5. Under 7 minutes remaining here. Sterling looking for the go-ahead score. Richardson up the middle. Get the old thunder and lightning combination right now with Richardson and Trey Potts. And we haven't even called Shane L's name yet offensively.
You see Richardson, we talked about him over the last couple games, first 2 games. A lot of his yards come after that initial hit. Kid with a real strong lower body, and he can take people with him.
Richardson again stacked up short of the goal line. He's not going to get there. He's going to be about 2 or 3 yards shy. But enough for a first down inside the 5. So Sterling will have 4 opportunities to punch it in.
I think right now, you look at what they've been able to do, going off tackle, going up the middle. I mean, give it to Richardson or Johnson. And yeah, I don't think there's any need to get fancy right here. You're really controlling the line of scrimmage when you look what's happened up front.
They're going to go Jacob Johnson this time, shy of the goal line. Bring up second down.
This is where Heights, when they're getting beaten up front, you have to feel like they're going to try to go with some type of a stunt, maybe shoot one of the gaps or a blitz, just to kind of gain penetration into the backfield, because Sterling offensively up front, again, is controlling the line of scrimmage.
Second down and goal from about the 2. Johnson in the backfield. Excuse me. That is Jameer Richardson, punches it in from 2 yards out, and Sterling takes the lead 19-13. For for Jameer Richardson, that is touchdown, I believe, number 2 on the season.
Nothing fancy. You see Richardson go off to the right side, as we're going to look at the extra point right here. That's what Sterling had to do, impose their will up front. As you look at Jameer Richardson, only a sophomore, but boy, he has the physical maturity of a junior or senior.
Looks like a timeout on the field. Give us a chance to look at this last touchdown. Jameer Richardson.
And guys, the thing I like about this drive was they were able to do it with a lot of different weapons, use a lot of different plays, and really attack different areas of the field. When you talk about them going off tackle right there, going to the outside, we saw Potts early on in that drive, and then those passes out to the flat really came up big for 2 key first downs in that drive and kept things going. And we've
everybody getting a little refreshment on the sideline during the timeout. Dylan Jess on to attempt the extra point.
Joe Lomas, our spotter here.
Snap, the hold, the kick is up. And the kick is good. 5 minutes even remaining here in the half. Sterling takes the lead 20-13 thanks to a 2-yard touchdown run by Jameer Richardson.
See Richardson here going through a lot of bodies, and now it's just a matter of avoiding the big play. And yeah, that's obviously Heights' MO. I believe they scored 33 points against a very good Paulsboro team last week, and that was off of some big plays. So they definitely have the ability to do that, but it's inherent on Sterling, again, to get a lot of bodies at the point, because these kids one-on-one can really do a good job of making people miss.
I want to hold your hand by some man named the Beatles.
Some scores from around the Colonial. Haddonfield leading Cinnaminson 7-0. Just about a minute left to go in the first quarter. Shout out to CJ Barrett, who's streaming the game live right now.
Okay.
So hello CJ and the rest of the Rowan Profs. CJ playing tight end for the Rowan University Profs there right now. Good luck to him on his game tomorrow. Used to playing Friday Night Lights, now he's playing some Saturday contests down in Glassboro. They are on the road this week after a tough loss at home last Saturday afternoon.
I didn't know about the tight end switch until you told me. I know he got
playing a
a
little
lot
special
bigger,
teams as well.
But just an outstanding athlete. Obviously, quarterback here. Went to Rowan as a quarterback and really did good in that South Jersey All-Star game. I believe was the MVP.
Shout out Prof Nation. 1st and 10 for the Garnets from the 40-yard line. See how they respond after the Jameer Richardson touchdown. Dual wide receivers. They go out into the flat this time to Isaiah Turner. Turner cuts it back inside looking for room. Dives across the 45 down to the 46. Gain of 6.
And we've seen them do that with Presley. Now you've got Turner coming in. But on both times, Sterling did a good job getting to the receiver and not allowing him to turn it into a big play. Good job getting to the point of attack right there.
Under 4.5 remaining in the half. Sterling leading 20-13. Split their wide receivers. 2 backs in the backfield. Sterling showing blitz off the edge from Schultz. Handed off to the touchdown maker there, Jackson Ferrante. Excuse me, he did not score the touchdown, but Ferrante, nice little carry and a first down inside of Sterling territory. So time winding down here in this second half, and if Heights can get in the end zone here, it's going to make it for a very, very interesting second half. Clock management is going to be key here down the stretch for the Garnets.
Sterling's really had a tough time with this Heights offense. We talked about 2 big plays, but outside of that, they also have a decent amount of yardage.
High snap taken, and the pass is complete out in the flat to Isaiah Turner inside the 40 for a first down to the 39. They made a quarterback change on this play.
And really taking advantage of the shotgun where you can get the ball and just get rid of it. You're not really running around that long. And these receivers in their routes do a good job running them quickly, getting upfield, and getting to that point where he can just throw them the ball.
Diorio under center now for the Garnets at the Sterling 39. Diorio hands it off right up the middle. The Sterling defensive line limits it to about a 3-yard gain. 2nd down and 7 on the way.
Short gain to the 55-yard line. 2nd down and 6.
You're seeing it, the handoff, a real good push up front. You know, I don't know that we were seeing that early on. A lot of it was just Harriel moving left or right, finding a little bit of daylight, but that was a good push up front. And saw the defensive line get driven back on that one.
Diorio hands off yet again and diving across the 35 down to about the 32. is Jackson Ferrante, the sophomore.
And you've got a third and fairly short in obviously 4-down territory right here, being on Sterling's 33-yard line.
They have to get to the Sterling 29 for a first down. Now Diorio going to operate out of the shotgun. They're going to split the backs on either side of him, 2 receivers to the near side. Diorio looking to pass, has a man complete in Isaiah Turner for the first down inside the 25 at the 24.
We're really going to Turner a lot. You see him with a quick out right here, and Diorio doing a good job putting the ball where either Turner can get it, and nobody could. And think about these receivers. They're ready to get the ball and turn upfield in a hurry.
Timeout on the field.
There you see Sterling in the huddle. You look at Heights, and one thing they've been able to do, Heights, is get rid of the ball quickly. When you're talking about the quick snap, the shotgun back to the quarterback, gets rid of it quickly, and that's taken away Sterling's ability to penetrate the offensive backfield. And that was one thing we saw last week that they did a real nice job of against Haddon field. Got in there, got a couple sacks, broke up some plays before they even started or got upfield, but Sterling has not been able to get that type of upfield penetration into the offensive backfield of Haddon Heights tonight.
After the timeout, 1st and 10 for the Garnets. Diorio from the shotgun. 3 wide receivers to his right. Gonna go out into the flat. Beautiful, almost catch, one-handed catch. That ball is live by Harrell and is able to make something out of nothing. Because it was thrown behind, that is a live ball, and I thought Harrell was gonna be able to corral that with one hand. That could have been disaster for the Garnets.
Yeah, if he wasn't able to get that, that's where, you know, having good athletes with good hands out there. Obviously, Harrell started out the quarterback position. That one could have went the other way.
Screen set up. Sterling is there, and they read it all the way. Beautiful play by Sterling to read the screen. It's going to bring up a 3rd down and a timeout on the field. It's going to be 3rd down and about 8 after the timeout. Timeout Haddon Heights.
There's a couple different ways you can stop the screen. You can have bodies right away. Didn't have them right there. Actually, Heights set it up really good, but wow, what a job of recovery by Sterling coming up, especially Shane L right there coming up and laying a lick on the ball carrier, Haddon Heights. And this would be a huge stop for Sterling from a momentum standpoint. You have to like what Sterling's been able to do on the offensive side of the ball, but I feel like the defense has kind of had a little bit of a down first half. They've allowed Heights to get the big plays. They've also allowed Heights to get some yardage off plays off tackle, something that was very uncharacteristic of the defense that we saw the last 2 weeks. So making a stop right here, I think, could really get them going and carry over in a big way to what they're going to be able to do in the second half.
41 seconds remaining in the half. Heights out of timeouts. Diorio under center on 3rd down and 8. Toss, gonna go to Harrell. Almost thought about the pass. He's in trouble. He's swallowed up in the backfield, and he will go down.
And that's something Sterling, you know, we said they've struggled defensively, but one thing they've done a real nice job at is any pitch to the outside, any play that goes laterally, they do a great job getting a lot of bodies up there and not allowing him the option of cutting it upfield. Just a great play defensively by Sterling off to that left side.
Diorio on 4th down has a man complete for the first down. 3.7 seconds remaining, but Heights is out of timeouts.
First down on the play.
So as soon as they set the chains, they'll start the clock, and Heights seems to be in no hurry.
I don't know if are they going to say he got out of bounds? No, they're not.
No,
Yeah,
they're going to run the clock
off.
out. There's no way they get this off.
Nope.
And a penalty marker, but that's going to do it for the half, I believe. No time on the clock. I wonder if the officials are going to talk about it. They're going to say at half.
Yeah, that's a big mistake by Heights because they were just taking their time. You said it, Rob, and I thought initially they got out of bounds, but you want to give yourself a chance right there. And, you know, you talk about some of the things that's going to do. That's going to give this Sterling team a boost of momentum going into the half.
So we'll get off to a quick break. Come back from the break, dissect this first half, and get ready for second half action. Sterling 20, Haddon Heights 13. We'll be back with second half action right after this.
Hey, you been doing okay? You seem down recently. Honestly, no. You're the only person that's asked me how I'm doing.
Twenty to 13 is your halftime score. Sterling leading the Haddon Heights Garnets. Rob Strauss, Kevin Schulz, John Hallwood, and what was a very interesting start to the game. First play from scrimmage, Sterling takes it 65 yards on the opening play, and then Heights answers right back on a half dozen plays later.
Yeah, and you know, you feel like with what they were doing that final drive, if you're Heights, I want to have an opportunity to get that last play off. I don't know if they thought it was out of bounds, but really we're taking their time and weren't able to get it off. And we stand at 20 to 13 right now.
Big mistake there at the end of the half where at least, I mean, they would have had about 3.5 seconds left, but you never know. You get a field goal there, an opportunity, or even heave one into the end zone.
Yeah.
You never know, especially with, you know, Deshaun Presley, easily the best athlete there for the Heights Garnets. But what we'll do is we'll get off to a quick break. Let's listen to Sterling's band. We'll be back right after this. 20-13, Sterling leading Haddon Heights in this second home game of the 2019 campaign. Glad you joined us here on Channel 19. Rob Strauss, Kevin Schulz, and John Hallwood. And Schulz, we mentioned this before, we got to see the band play. And an outstanding job by the band, by the way, led by Mr. Walter Young. Sterling, a really, really interesting game here tonight. And what we thought was going to be more of a one-sided affair here tonight has really turned into one heck of a contest.
It is, and you know, a lot of it was on the heels of the big play offensively, but you also saw what Pariel was able to do from the quarterback position. But even after that, when they started handing off the ball and have had a lot more success off tackle than I thought they would have had coming into this game. And it'd be interesting to see what Sterling does to regroup here. And obviously, you also have got to watch the big play.
It looked like when they made the quarterback change and they went to Ryan Diorio, only a sophomore, they had a lot more success there. As we take a look at some of the tech crew that makes us look and sound really good, led by Mr. Tad Kozaneski, always doing a great job with these kids. And then one of the freshman class officers, Jade Wiley there, getting involved with the TV production. So shout out to one of my class officers from the class of 2023.
Teaching here and probably listening in Channel 19 land, YouTube land. I know Mr. Wiley always gives us a shout out and asks some questions about the game.
Some scores from around the league. Haddonfield Cinnaminson going on tonight. Right now, Haddonfield currently leading. Last update I got 14-0 Haddonfield.
And that
Highland winning big right now, 42-0. Cherry Hill East and Eastern, all Eastern 26-6 with just about 3 minutes left to go in the half. Buna won 32-0. Gateway up 42-0 over Florence at the half.
Boy, what a job they've done turning that Gateway program around.
Unbelievable.
I mean, in the last 5 years, they've really got themselves in a position where they're one of the top teams in Group 1 after, what, about 10 years ago? Almost getting to the point where they had to fold the program.
I mean, I remember doing games here when Gateway would come into town. They had like 6 extra guys on the sideline, and they would just switch offense for defense, and they would just, I mean, they hardly had anybody out there. So I love seeing that. I hate seeing programs go to the wayside and fall apart, but what a great job. Shout out to the Gateway staff for sticking with it, and even the players over all those lean years sticking with it. And anytime, it's not easy to get a 42-0 lead at the half, and they're doing a great job. So shout out to the Gators.
Yeah, and you could tell. I know Mr. K and I did a game. We bring this story up a lot where it was a game where it rained. They had to do a pregame in the gym, and this was about the time that you felt like they were turning the corner. You went in there, and just the raw emotion you felt, the way the kids were running through pregame with a lot of energy, you could tell they were turning the corner. And sure enough, that year they won some games, and the following year they were able to get in the playoffs.
Playoffs still ways out. We are in week 3 right now of this 2019 season. Sterling going to be on the road next week, and then they return back home on the 2nd. West Deptford coming next week is at West Deptford. That should be, I think West Deptford is here, I believe.
Yes. Yeah, it's going to be here against West Deptford. That's next week, and obviously,
it is next week.
When you look at West Deptford, they're one of those teams that just keep things at that same winning level each year, and right now are one of the top teams in this conference. Yeah, there you see the next game here against West Deptford. Then we've got Paulsboro here. I don't know that Paulsboro is the same type of team this year as they've been in recent years, but West Deptford, from everything we've heard, is really at the top of the class of this conference in this division.
I mean, they still won against this team, Haddon Heights, so still says something.
Sterling making their way out of the breezeway entrance. Haddon Heights still nowhere to be found, but you know, we talk about this PowerPoint system and how important these games are and how important it is to rack up points. And whatever side of the fence you're on with that mode of thinking, Sterling an opportunity here to put some additional points up on the board, and they need everything that they can get if they want to get into that playoff hunt.
Absolutely. This is a must-win right here, and you know, the kid's playing hard, but you have to feel like they may have taken this Haddon Heights team a little bit lightly. But if there's ever more of a wake-up call, it's what happened in that first half and what Heights was able to do on a lot of different levels.
And you hear Haddon Heights fans booing Sterling, but I think Sterling won't mind about that at home.
But we talked about how in that last drive you needed the defense to come up big, and you know, I don't know that it was so much our defense coming up with the big plays. It was Heights kind of missing out on that last play, slow to get to the line of scrimmage. But Sterling right here really has to dictate the tempo on the defensive side of the ball. With Heights getting the ball, start things off in the second half.
Definitely, and
Oh, okay.
Sterling needs to
Coach.
see right
You
here
see
the
the fog
fog.
rolling in. All that powder they throw up in the air. Great job, as always, by our super fans. As you see the kids warming up out there, it'll be interesting to see what type of adjustments we're going to see from this Sterling team going into the second half. But if there's one thing that was really encouraging towards the end of that first half, was the way Sterling methodically moved the ball down the field to get that last score that they were able to get. Running the ball, throwing the ball, running to the outside, running off tackle. That's something they're going to have to do in the second half. Not only to get to the point where they can score, but also have these long drives that can keep the ball out of Haddon Heights' hands.
I think you hit the nail on the head there, Schulze. I think Sterling needs a long drive, time-consuming drive, keep that defense on the field and get some points out of it, and almost put this one out of reach because, you know, other than a few miscues, it's really been all Sterling throughout this contest.
Yeah, and you know, we talked about what Sterling did on their last drive. Heights right now is in a rhythm, doing a lot of different things, going off tackle, throwing the ball to some of their playmakers. And the best way to get any offense out of the rhythm is to keep them off the field.
And I tell you what, they are, maybe a foot and a half away from getting an opportunity at the end of that half to put some additional points on the board. Had the receiver gotten out of bounds, the official ruled that the receiver did not get out of bounds. By the time they reset the chains and reset everything, clock ran, and that was the end of the half.
And I'll be honest with you, I wasn't looking on the monitor. I was looking on out our window here. I really thought he did get out of bounds. But
hard to tell on that far side, though.
Yeah, but you had to think on their sideline they had a clean look at it. But in any event, it's almost it is kind of a wasted opportunity.
Haddon Heights finally back out on the field after an extended halftime. And what is already a pretty lengthy game, not as lengthy as the first game that we had here on opening night, filled with penalties, and wound up being almost a 3-hour game when all is said and done.
Oh, the NFL.
And there were penalties. It seemed like almost every player, every other play was just laundry on the field. And welcome back to Sterling High School. Sterling leading 20-13 on their second home game of the season, taking on the Haddon Heights Garnets. Glad you joined us here on Channel 19 and streaming everywhere. Rob Strauss, Kevin Schulz, and John Hallwood bring you second half action, what should be a very, very interesting second half here. A very fun-packed, offensively packed first 5 minutes or so. After that, everything seemed to mellow out just a little bit. But nonetheless, Sterling takes a 7-point lead into this second half.
And of course, Heights is going to get the ball to start things off in the second half. So, you know, defense was definitely sluggish in that first half. Probably their poorest half of football when you look at the last 3 games. And boy, if there was ever time for them to bounce back and make a statement, it's going to be on this first drive for Heights.
And you wonder, who's your players to look out for here in this second half defensively for Sterling? If you had to isolate one player that you need to make that play, I mean, we talk about Shane L all the time making some really big tackles in that first quarter. But who are you looking for in this second half defensively?
You know what? I'm going to say as a group, the defensive line, I feel like they, to me, coming into this game have been the MVP of the team. It's been the strength of the team. And I felt like they didn't get the same type of penetration in that first half that I've seen them get throughout the first 2 games. And, you know, look for them to come in and make some plays and make a difference, because I think defensively, that's, you know, to answer your question, one of the things that could definitely turn this game around.
Dylan Jess on the only player on the field right now, ready to go at the 40-yard line. Beautiful night here for football. It's not going to get any warmer from here on out in some of our home broadcasts and even the away broadcasts, as fall, nice little glimpse of fall earlier this week. And it's going to be back up into the 80s and 90s this weekend, of course, so keep the air conditioner running.
Yeah,
no wind to speak of whatsoever right now. So, you know, fall still, or excuse me, summer still trying to hang on here, as it always does here in mid to late September.
It's that last leaf that doesn't want to fall off that tree.
Absolutely. Bring on pumpkin spice everything, as far as I'm concerned.
We'll just bring pumpkin pie back.
Facts. Second half action just about underway. Dylan Jess on the kickoff. And they go with almost like a squib kick. I don't know if that was by design or not. Nonetheless, they gave Heights excellent field position at the 45. They almost took advantage of it. A momentary bobble.
Wow.
Boy, that's, I believe that's Shane L there on the tackle. But the Garnets will take over, trailing this one by 7.
And to this point, Heights is definitely the team that's had the better field position. No question about it.
3 receivers to the near side. From the shotgun, a direct snap. I believe that's to Presley.
And we talked about stunning, gaining penetration, trying to make something happen. Looked like Sterling right from the get-go wanted to establish that, and they had a blitz going right up the middle. That's probably the most success they've had with that play.
They go back to Harriel in this third quarter, who gained 1. He was not under center in that second quarter, but now he's back from the shotgun again. Harriel trying to sprint out to that left side and swallowed up by the Sterling defense, and that's the player that you wanted to watch, players that you wanted to watch there, and it's a big loss in the play of about 4.
Yeah, you know, and we talked about what would turn this game around on the defensive side of the ball, and it's been the defensive line as well as the linebackers gaining penetration in these first 2 plays, and don't think that that wasn't a big part of the message from the coaches at halftime.
And I think that the Sterling defense is starting to notice they're using the same plays a little bit, just at different formations.
Yeah, you're right, John. Not a lot of creativity, not a lot of different plays. You pretty much, in a lot of cases, know what's coming at you.
3rd down and 12. Harriel looking to pass, running out of time, and short hops it to the intended receiver, Andrew Tavares-Crone, incomplete. And that will bring up 4th down and the punt team.
Well, we talked about having great penetration on the first 2 plays from scrimmage with the run right here. Great upfield penetration, and that was the key to stopping this. You had Harriel having to throw off his back foot. He had an open receiver, but just wasn't able to get enough on it.
Back deep to receive. Mike Estremera on the near side. as well as Brandon Grace on the far side. Punt partially blocked by Shane L. And Grace falls on top of it just shy of midfield, but the speedy Shane L gets in there, deflects a piece of it, and gives Sterling excellent field position to start their first drive of the second half.
The punter was pointing for roughing the punter, but they said it. They picked it up. Refs just were signaling that the ball was hit. It's blocked.
Has there been a position where Shane L cannot play? That's my question.
Yeah, he really gets upfield in a hurry here, and special teams makes a big play to give Sterling probably their best field position of the night.
1st and 10. Handoff is right to L.J. Williams, and doesn't get much there, if anything at all. 2nd down and 10.
His helmet
Like
fell
a good,
off.
nice hole initially, but you saw the linebacker off to the right side scrape over and have make a great individual effort there against L.J. Williams.
Second down and 10. They're going to go with the big guy. They're going to go Jameer Richardson. Richardson across midfield, inside of Garnet territory, down to the 37.
And he just steamrolls over the Haddon Heights defense.
And we're going to look at this replay where he's just coming right at us. And when you're that big and you stay that low, that adds up to the type of run you saw right there from Jameer Richardson.
6 foot 220 for Jameer Richardson. Handoff to Jacob Johnson off the right side, close to a first down, picks up about 9.
Well, early on in the second half, guys, we talked about some of the keys. Get defensive penetration. They were able to get that and forcing Heights to punt. And on the offensive side of the ball, impose your will up front. They've been able to do that. So far, these first couple of minutes of play, Sterling's doing exactly what they need to do in the second half.
2nd down and a long one from the 29. And they go to Jameer Richardson. He's close to a first down. They're going to take a look at it. Depends on the spot. They're going to stop the clock momentarily. Needed a long one. And they're going to say he's short. 3rd down and less than a yard.
I say give it to Richardson again. You know, I mean, he's the guy who I don't think has really come up short in this situation at any time this year. And sure enough, give it to him. He's got him a first down.
I mean, no question there who you were going to. And I don't think that the Haddon Heights defensive line can stop him when he gets ahead of steam.
And the nice thing about it, you know, you keep going to Richardson, they're going to do some different things. That opens things up for the play action pass.
There was a flag on the field, but the refs just picked it up, and yeah, there it is.
Illegal shift penalty against Sterling, so that negates the first down run by Jameer Richardson. Now instead of 3rd and 1, or excuse me, instead of a first down, you have 3rd down and 6 from the 38, or excuse me, 33.
Would you go pass, or would you still give it to Richardson?
I think you go Richardson here.
Yeah,
you still have 4th down.
I wouldn't be surprised if I saw play action here. Fake to Richardson, drawing the defense in, especially up front.
3rd down and 6. Thompson back to pass, and incomplete. Looking across the middle for L.J. Williams, and another penalty marker comes in, and that may be against Sterling.
A little bit of extracurricular after the play, and that's where you really got to watch yourself. And in a drive where they move the ball downfield, you know, we talked about Heights having a couple penalties in that first half that really hurt them. This is going to hurt Sterling.
If it is against Sterling, it's back-to-back penalties. So instead of,
wow,
they're going to go against offset.
Offset, okay. Okay,
It was
we're gonna
behind
look
the
at this.
play.
I felt like it was
Stephon
after
Johnson.
the play.
Yeah, it was after the play behind Thompson.
Okay, we might see it here. I think it was towards the center. Yeah, right to the right. There was somebody was thrown down, and then they went back at it. And clearly, we're still going at it after that whistle.
4th down and 6 from the 33. Thompson looking to pass, has a man complete, and that's not going to be enough for the first down. They're going to turn it over on downs. Pass complete on the near side, but did not get enough was L.J. Williams. He wasn't even close to the sticks. He got about half of what he needed.
Yeah, and when you have defensive backs where there are a lot of your playmakers on the offensive side of the ball, these guys have a lot of speed and can come up and make a play. And kids are very physical too here.
Surprised they didn't go upstairs to Mike Estremera on that.
Yeah. And I thought maybe, they might try something there on that one, over the middle or downfield a little bit more.
Nonetheless, Heights defense holds, and they hand off Sterling. Doing a little stand-up defense of their own. Nice tackle on the play by Jacob Johnson.
Jacob Johnson, of course, we called his name a lot from the fullback position. Coming in, and a hit right there. This is where, they're running. We talked about how Sterling might do a play-action pass on offense. Got to watch that from Heights. They're in the shotgun now.
Back to Diorio at quarterback from the shotgun. In trouble, looking to the left-hand side, has it complete out to the 38-yard line. It'll be 3rd down and short. Nice pass completion there. Diorio. Pass is complete and tackled by Cook Graham.
And that's a nice job of Diorio looking right, kind of freezing the defense a little bit, coming off to this left side, and he gets rid of the ball quickly.
Pass was complete to Isaiah Turner. 3rd down and 3. Big defensive play here for the Silver Knights. Diorio back to pass, sets up the screen, deflected, and it will be close to a first down. I think he has it. Shane L made the tackle, but not before Jackson Ferrante was able to get the first down. That was almost a pick 6 there.
Almost were able to get their hands on the ball, but that play's been set up very well by Haddon Heights. If you remember, in that first half, they got the ball to the outside, but Sterling recovered and got up and made a play, but weren't able to get there as quick enough. But Shane L comes up and makes a big play from the safety position, but definitely had a lot of opening off to that side.
Credit Rashad McQueen on the tip. That almost, just a little bit taller, could have had his hands on that one. As a run there for no gain by the Garnets. Brings up 2nd down and 10.
And again, Sterling was just able to.
Yeah, and that's a play that worked a lot, John, towards the end of the first half. But, and you have to feel like at this point, you're going to see Heights try to air it out a little bit here in 2nd and about 10.
Diorio hands it off. Again, no gain on the play. Sterling defense all over. Jacob Johnson again on the tackle. Ariel had nowhere to run.
And this is where you see them with that quick hitter to the outside, where you have the receiver come in about 5 steps, and after you get the ball upfield, that's one of the plays Sterling's done a good job with tonight. I wouldn't be surprised if they had Harry L get the ball and try to get to the wide side of the field, but they still have Diorio in there, so they're going to look like
Two receivers
Throw the
far
pass.
side, one near side. They're going to set up a little out there and not able to get the first down, maybe about 6 yards shy. And interesting play call there by the Haddon Heights staff there on a third and long. Will bring up 4th down and 6.
Now another nice stop here by the Sterling defense.
He's down. That punter's down there. He put his knee on the ground. And that means that he is down, and that's a big break for Sterling.
Yeah, and we talked about how the field position battle was won by Heights in the first half, but not so much the case here in the second half with now Sterling
Watch the knee of
getting the
Jackson.
ball.
Jackson Ferrante, his knee was down, but did he
Yeah.
pick up the ball after he picked his knee up?
Good point. I think you might be right, but we'll take it.
We'll take it. I don't see a red flag on the field to challenge the play, but we could be spearheading a new technology in South Jersey football.
There you go.
The Channel 19 replay booth. 1st and 10 for Sterling. Thompson being flushed out. Going to go across the middle. Has a man wide open and cannot connect. Had Jacob Johnson with nobody near him and just overthrew him.
Yeah, well-designed play. You have Jacob Johnson. As the play's going right, he just comes out of that backfield off to the left side, and nobody picked him up. I mean, he was completely uncovered the entire way. And good job of Jeremiah Thompson buying some time, going to the right side. Just wasn't able to get that one on the money.
2nd down and 10. Estremera, the lone wide receiver. They set it up this time for L.J. Williams. L.J. Williams across the 30, down to about the 26. Under just about 3 minutes left to go here in the 3rd quarter. No scoring here in this 3rd stanza.
Good cutback by Williams. I mean, that was a play where he had penetration into the backfield. Williams did a real nice job breaking a tackle and getting himself upfield.
3rd down and a long 6 for the Silver Knights. Reverse. They're trying to find Trey Potts. Potts cannot turn the corner. Gains 1 at best. 4th down and 5 on the way for Sterling, and an interesting play call here. What do you call here, Schulze?
Boy, I'm looking at this play. This is, first off, great job staying home by that Haddon Heights defense, especially on that far side. And I think you might want to take advantage of the wide side of the field. That was Jackson Ferrante.
Mike Estremera going out wide, so he might be your man to be looking out for.
Big 4th down here, 4th and 5. Thompson back to pass, has a man complete. Did he drop it? No, he dropped it. Incomplete pass, and the Garnets take over on downs after giving Sterling exceptional field position after the kneel down on the punt.
Yeah, a great opportunity right here as we see Jeremiah Thompson rolling out. That's a tough throw, having to turn your body right there, but the Heights defensive backs have come up big in making a couple stops on 4th down, fairly deep in their own end of the field here in this 3rd quarter.
L.J. Williams couldn't hang on.
And even if he did.
And an injury timeout. Give us an opportunity to take a look at a trivia question. Plenty of 1964 class trivia. But here we go. What famous movie director was born in Haddon Heights? We'll let you marinate on this for a little bit. Let this soak. We'll come back in a couple plays and try and get the answer. Being a big movie buff, I don't even know the answer to this one.
Well, I know
I do speak
Steven
fluent movie quotes.
Spielberg grew up in Haddonfield.
That's a good one.
Oh.
Wow.
Steven Spielberg.
Spielberg?
Haddon Heights.
Wow. I think we're going to need a bigger boat.
Yeah.
He's unbelievable. And you talk about some of the famous landmarks in Haddon Township.
Movie theater there, and I think that probably got him going down the whole movie directing route. And boy, what a career he's had.
And there's a great documentary on HBO not too long ago, about a 3-hour documentary on the life of Steven Spielberg and all the movies that he has produced, directed over his career. And you talk about Close Encounters of the Third Kind, Jaws,
Jaws
Saving Private Ryan.
That was the big springboard.
They probably spent a good 45 minutes on how they created Jaws and the money that went into it and how they were over budget and over time. And somehow they turned the Peter Benchley novel into arguably one of the greatest movies of all time.
They thought it was going to be a disaster. You said it right. They thought it was going to be a disaster.
People still won't go swimming because of that movie. Diorio looking across the middle, has a man. Complete. No, incomplete. What a circus effort by the intended receiver, Isaiah Turner. He almost came down with it.
Yeah, Turner got out there in a hurry, and that's just a great job of staying with it.
It almost fell right onto his lap. We'll take one more look at it here.
Yeah, Graham did a real nice job sticking with the receiver right there and breaking up the play.
2nd down and 10 for the Garnets. Diorio under center this time from the 25. Handed off. Shane L on the tackle as well. Coming in there is David Barber.
And going back to movies, and I found this actually really interesting because looking up for the 1964 facts was 93 cents for a movie ticket.
Look at you, the knowledge.
Good job.
How about this for, as there's an injury timeout on the field, get a chance to talk some more Steven Spielberg. But we'll get to that back in a second. Herb Kelleher, Schulze, was born in Haddon Heights in 1931. Who is he, and what is he the founder of? We need to get some Jeopardy music in the truck.
He's
because I have no idea.
The founder of...
Get there. Herb Kelleher.
Yeah, he's one of the airlines.
American?
Nah, not American. Southwest Airlines.
I'll go with that.
That's very good, Schulze. Schulze, 2 for 2 tonight. Look at him. Look at him
I'm
go.
done for the year. I'm going to stay batting 1,000.
Look at him go. Just to go back to Spielberg movies, how about this? I was watching this the other night. E.T., Jaws, Schindler's List, Jurassic Park, Close Encounters of the Third Kind, Saving Private Ryan, Munich, War of the Worlds, Lincoln. I mean, we could be here. We could spend an entire broadcast on his career. Third down and 7 after the injury timeout, and back-to-back trivia answers from Kevin Schulze.
Watch the big play.
Pass is complete into the hands of Isaiah Turner for the first down. They'll move the chains. 1st and 10 upcoming from the 38.
And not a big play, but big enough for a first down and continuing a drive.
First down for the Garnets. Speaking of football, the Baltimore Colts won the championship in 1964. You heard that right, the Baltimore Colts. This happened before the NFL was created.
First down and 10. Split the wide receivers, 2 on the near side, 1 on the far. Here comes Diorio to the near side. He's going to put it up. He has a man in Presley, incomplete. Here comes the penalty marker. That's going to be pass interference.
Some contact off to that right side. I think they kind of lost track of the ball. And
that's
you had to
Tremera
think
on the
at some
coverage.
point they were going to try to go up top to Presley, one of their biggest weapons. Here you see Diorio going off to the right side, and he just put that up there where Presley could possibly get it, but
Pass interference penalty is being accepted right at this moment from the official. 17 seconds remaining in the third, and the raucous crowd here is not only thinning out a little bit, but they're also very, very quiet.
You've got to be a witness that I didn't Google that.
You did not Google that.
Swears that I Googled it.
I will attest to the fact that you did not Google that.
I can't hit the keys fast enough to get that. I'm incapable of doing it.
Diorio back to pass, and the pass falls incomplete, intended on the far side. Cook Graham on the coverage. Schulz, you were not cheating.
I was not cheating.
No.
No hands were on the fence.
And you were not in Mr. K's office when he was typing that graphic. So you can, I got your back. What we have to start keeping is stats on trivia.
We should.
Like rolling stats over the last 14 years that we've been doing games together. You're definitely winning.
Put pressure on ourselves.
Second down. Diorio looking near side. Pass complete. A lot of contact, and here comes another flag. And they are picking on the defensive backs of Sterling right now.
And this is one you could see where he reached the hand in, but also got body. And I don't know that you needed to get body on that because you were there to possibly bat it away. But really trying to get the ball to that outside. And again, Diorio's not doing a bad job at all at just getting it and getting rid of it as quick as possible, picking up his receivers in a hurry.
Comes the call from the officials. And we'll take another look at it here. Diorio passing. Just got that ball away, too. And making the contact before the ball came into play there. And hence the penalty. And Haddon Heights quietly on the move here. And that will do it for the third quarter. Should be an interesting final frame here. Sterling leading by 7. We'll get off to a quick break, come back with the final quarter here from Channel 19. We'll be back right after this.
If you ever find yourself stuck in the middle of the sea, I'll sail the world to find you. If you ever find yourself lost in the dark and you can't see, I'll be the light to guide you. Find out what we're made of when we are called to help our friends in need. You can count on me like 1, 2, 3, I'll be there. And I know when I need it, I can count on you like 4, 3, 2, and you'll be there. 'Cause that's what friends are supposed to do, oh yeah. Ooh.
Third quarter action is complete. Fourth quarter on the way here from Sterling High School. Sterling taking a 20-13 lead into the final frame. Rob Strauss, Kevin Schulz, and John Hallwood. Buckle up, ladies and gentlemen. It's going to be an interesting fourth quarter as Heights is on the move after a pair of pass interference penalties to give Heights some excellent field position, moving from right to left in this final quarter. Diorio under center. Back to pass. Looking across the middle, sets up the screen to the near side. Ferrante is hit, and a penalty marker comes in.
That's going to be holding.
I think that's a hold there to the outside.
But even without holding, Schulz still makes the tackle, too.
Yeah, and that was one of those plays that you had to think that Sterling thought that Heights was going to go to that wide side of the field, went to the short side, and Jason Schulz comes up here, fights off a block. I think that's where he might have seen the hold and is able to make the play.
And
that's a big penalty too, because you start to have a feel that Heights was, first of all, they're winning the time of possession right now. That's something we felt like Sterling had to win to kind of take this game, but Heights is doing it, and really, we're in a rhythm, we're moving downfield, and now this one's really going to set them back.
And all that momentum that they got from those those pass interference penalties has been nullified.
Yeah.
And now you've got 1st down and 20 from the 43. DiOrio from the shotgun. Looking right, throwing right, and pass is complete on that far side. Makes up the 15 of the 20 that they needed. And now a 2nd down and a much more manageable situation for the Garnets.
And that's where it helps to have a receiver who you throw it up to, not necessarily to him, but has the ability to adjust. Not sure if there wasn't a push off there, but in any event, Haddon Heights in one play makes up for the penalty and puts themselves back in real good position here.
2nd down and 6 inside the 30-yard line for the Garnets. 3 receivers to the near side. DiOrio from the shotgun, looking across the middle again, hit hard but complete down at the 15-yard line. And some taunting, that may be a penalty by Isaiah Turner. No flag thrown there as Turner flexing the muscle.
You see
I'm
DiOrio
shocked that there was not a penalty.
To Turner right there. Nice throw, getting him right on the money. And yeah, you got to give credit to what Haddon Heights is doing, especially with the penalty. Fighting right back.
DiOrio looking right, throwing right, has a man complete again, thrown out of bounds. Hard to see where that sideline is, but it looked like he took him down inside the 11.
Going to the short side of the field. Very interesting. You saw right there with the 3 receivers you had to the right, kind of cleared things out. And we've seen them do that on a couple occasions, but left, actually 2 of the receivers went downfield, kept the 1 receiver right there, and DiOrio does a nice job getting the ball out to him.
Second down and 6. DiOrio looking left this time. Now he's going to come across the middle. One-handed attempt, no good from Isaiah Turner. One of the few things he couldn't do today. We haven't seen him do a one-handed catch, a couple attempts, and he's 0 for 2 on one-handed attempts.
And the thing about what Heights is doing, guys, is they're throwing, but they're attacking all areas of the field. You have a play that goes to the outside, to the flat. We had the screen, and they've hit the plays across the middle a couple times.
3rd and 6 from the 12. Under center is DiOrio. Quick little out. And into the end zone for the touchdown is Zachary Roberts. And Heights is an extra point away from tying this contest.
Well, give credit to the Heights. I'm not sure how long that drive was, but they just took control, used ball control from a short passing standpoint, and went on about a 60-yard drive. And most impressive was that fact of that drive was the play where they were having their backs against the wall with the penalty and converted.
And the extra point is blocked, and Sterling hangs on to a 1-point lead.
Now, that's a big play, but Sterling right now really needs to get into some type of an offensive rhythm.
What you need here from Sterling is a time-consuming drive, which we said on the open of this half, and get some points. And they have been quiet offensively here in this second half.
And hey, let's give credit to Diorio. Gets the ball back to him, back on the snap, gets rid of it in a hurry. And I think that's the key. They're just saying, hey, as quick as you can, get the ball into the playmaker's hands and don't let the defensive line have an impact in this game. And for the most part, they haven't because of that fact.
How about this? 2 extra points, no good by Haddon Heights. They could have a 2-point lead here. Or excuse me, a 1-point lead.
Yep, definitely blocked.
So special teams, we say this, I think, at least once a year, how important the kicking game is at the high school level.
Yeah, well, we remember having Clyde Folsom on our broadcast last year. He said that's one of the most important players on his team, and they've always had great kickers.
Clyde Folsom, the ex-head coach of the West Deptford Eagles, enjoying his time away from the game, I'm sure. Sterling taking the kickoff from the 20. A little bit of room and good field position. Nice return by Sterling. That's Jaden Johnson on the return out to the 42.
Now, Jaden Johnson, the sophomore, you know, we've seen returns in a lot of different ways. You hit that hole in a hurry, but he just kind of got up there and kind of sliced his way through, was looking for the openings, didn't have that initial wide open hole, but was able to get out to midfield. Big run there by Jaden Johnson, and boy, this offense definitely needs a boost like that.
Now the Garnet Crazies on the far side getting into the action as Sterling rushes ahead, pushing the pile forward. It's going to be a first down. They're still moving out to the 45. What an answer by Sterling. That's a 14-yard gain. And who else but Jameer Richardson when you need a bull rush up the middle.
And Jameer Richardson last week didn't do a ton in that first half, but really was a key to what Sterling was able to do in the run game in the second half against Haddonfield.
1st and 10 for Sterling inside Garnet territory. We're going to go to Jacob Johnson for about a yard.
Good recovery there, and that's a play where Jacob Johnson's had a lot of success tonight, cutting it back against the grain, but this was one time where Heights showed good penetration by the defensive line and were also able to get the linebackers involved.
2nd down and 9 from the 45. Line up Schulz in the tight end slot on the left-hand side. Another run by Jameer Richardson. Out close to the 40-yard line, 3rd down and about 6.
Now you have to think they're going to try to exploit that right side.
Four-down situation here, I think, for Sterling. Unless you want to pin him deep if you gain no yards here.
Trying to go with that hard count to draw Heights offside.
Go to Johnson again. And Johnson able to gain about close. 4. He's going to be about at least a full yard shy of the first down.
And that's the second time tonight we've seen him get penetration.
Sterling line up quick
to Jacob Johnson. And he's able to cut it upfield and get them close.
And that's going to be it looks like a first down for Sterling. It will be on the quick count. Sterling tries to push them backwards.
Yeah, I was just going to say
that ball come out. Heights saying that they have the ball.
Okay, they're going to say the whistle blew.
And I think this is close enough for a measurement here. And they're going to say first down.
But Rob, Heights is getting a lot of bodies in there, and I think this is the point of the game that once you get to the point where either you have a first down and we see Richardson going off to the left side, going for extra yards. When that second man comes in to make a hit from Heights, they're going to be looking to strip the ball.
1st and 10 from the 35, just a couple inches into a first down.
Don't be surprised if you see them go up top here.
Richardson, nothing. 2 hands on the ball. If you are Sterling, that's a loss on the play of maybe a yard, if that. Now they're going to say it's a short loss. Second down and long 10.
Can break tackles and make people miss and go through people as well as anybody, but when you get the type of pressure that Heights got with that penetration defensively from their defensive line, there's not much Jameer Richardson could do there.
Brandon Grace, the lone wide receiver. They go a little reverse action to let L.J. Williams. Williams has some space. Williams down the far sideline inside the 10.
Boy, L.J. Williams started things off in this game with the big run off the left side. And if Sterling ever needed a boost right there, they definitely got it from L.J. Williams, who made a nice, nifty move. The defender was right in his face. Great cut to the outside. You see this kid's quickness on display on this play as we look at the replay. Nice block there. The inside, I believe that was Brandon Grace, and Williams put the afterburners on there and almost was able to take it to that corner.
There you go to Jacob Johnson. Not much to speak of there for Jacob Johnson, but Schulze, how much of this is just the tiredness, the fatigue factor for the Haddon Heights defensive line settling in right now?
Yeah, and we talked about the early part of this grade. As you look at this drive, you look at L.J. Williams down there with Mr. Clank tending to him.
He might just be gassed.
Yeah.
A lot of the workload has been on his shoulders here in this fourth quarter.
And you talk about both sides of the ball. We see L.J. Williams out there on both sides of the ball.
Second down and goal. Richardson, no. No gain on the play from Richardson. Third and goal, but they keep the clock moving. 5.25 minutes remaining in the fourth.
Yeah, and that's the second time we've seen him gain penetration. Not as good as the first time, but just enough to slow him up and have that linebacker step up and make the play.
If you get a fourth down, do you try for the field goal?
I think it depends on where it is.
Probably, yeah.
I would say yes, because it makes it a touchdown game instead of a one-score game. Thompson back to pass, end zone, incomplete at 2 receivers in the area, went through the hands of both. Stops the clock with 4:33 remaining. Both teams all 3 timeouts.
Flood the right side. You see Thompson roll out right there, get the ball. You had in the air 2 receivers, and just out of the outstretched hands of Jason Schulz. You also had Potts over there, and they're going to go for it in 4th down. And I think
watch Estromera on the far side on 4th and goal from outside the 10-yard line. Thompson back to pass, looking for Estromera. Pass is complete. Touchdown! Mike Estromera on the reception in the back corner of the end zone.
Well, Mike Estromera obviously came up with a big touchdown early in the game, but there's no bigger touchdown than this one. And Jeremiah Thompson, when he needed it most, went to his best target right there. And Estromera makes a nice catch, nice run of the route, and Sterling is going to extend their lead.
It's just pure silence from Haddon Heights' fans right now.
The extra point is up, and it is good.
Boy, Dylan Jess was feeling a lot of adrenaline there. I think that one would have been good from 35 or 40. As we look at this replay right here, just an outstanding catch and a great throw there by Jeremiah Thompson and catch by Mike Estromera. and really doing a nice job making sure the feet were in bounds. Obviously, in high school football, you only need the 1 foot in bounds, but boy, what a big play right there against, man, I'll tell you what, a tough Haddon Heights team, a gritty Haddon Heights team that with 4:25 left, they're not out of this game, okay? Down by 8, but obviously they've shown the ability to move the ball down the field.
What a catch by Estremera, and we called it before the play even started. Keep an eye on number 1, Mike Estremera. That is their 5th touchdown of the season, and they have that chemistry, and there's no doubt about it.
Give credit to the line on the left side, giving Jeremiah Thompson enough time to make that throw. Because don't think that they weren't anticipating him rolling out and going towards Estremera.
Hard to see from where we were if he was out of bounds. So I was waiting for the signal from the official. That's a live ball. Picked up inside the 10. Heights trying to make something happen. That's a face mask. And there is no flag on the field.
Now,
wow.
Yeah, well, I thought he picked it up and had a knee down.
Let's see if we can take another look at it. That was an obvious.
He was up on his feet.
Look at the face mask
Caught
right
break.
there. Oh
Wow.
my goodness.
It couldn't have been more out in the open.
Tackle was made by 36 Shane L.
See if the knee comes down, that does not have possession, does not have possession.
Okay.
He's up.
Yeah, went back up. I thought initially he was down, but he got back up.
So the Garnets in desperation mode here, trailing by 8 with 4:19 remaining and all 3 timeouts in their pocket. Diorio pumps, looking across the middle, has a man complete, and a nice touchdown saving tackle by Shane L. Otherwise, that's 6 points on the board for the Garnets.
Boy, I'm impressed with the creativity, the variety you're seeing from their passing game. And look at that little look that Diorio gave to the outside. I think possibly freezing a defender, making a defender possibly step that way, giving a little bit more time and space for the receiver, and another big throw by Diorio and catch.
I'll tell you what, Ferrante tucks his jersey in, and Shane L has nothing to grab. Diorio looking in the middle again, pass complete to Zachary Roberts at midfield. Another first down.
And you're looking at Diorio right now, playing with a lot of confidence. Boy, he's getting back there, setting his feet, looking different ways, under a lot of pressure, and just getting rid of it.
Ryan Diorio, only a sophomore, so a pair of sophomore quarterbacks for both of these teams dueling right now. Throws a nice ball, too. Inside Sterling territory on 2 plays. 3:15 and counting left to go in the 4th. Setting up the screen. Has complete to Ferrante. He's going nowhere. Loss of 4 on the play.
Yeah, that's the second time we've seen Jason Schulz come up, fight off the blocker, and make a play on that screen. You see they probably had the receivers go downfield, kind of take some people away, and Schulz gets to the outside, fights off a blocker, is able to come up, make a big hit.
Sterling defense was definitely not fooled.
That'll make Dad proud.
Yeah, absolutely.
Second down and long. Ball just shy of the midfield stripe. Diorio from the shotgun, 2 receivers to the far side, 1 to the near side. And I think they got him either some type of procedure penalty. We'll see if it was against Sterling. Heights pointing to Sterling. Sterling pointing to Heights.
It's usually
Tried
how
to go
it
with the
is.
hard count. False start against Heights.
False start on the offense.
Yeah, and it looked like they went with Jason Schulz with a blitz off this near side, and obviously sometimes as a lineman, you're seeing that, you want to get a head start, but made him jump just a little bit.
2:20 and counting.
They're saying it was on the center.
Diorio from the shotgun. 1 back to his right. Diorio across the middle again. Had a man into Sean Presley and could not connect with him on a slant pattern.
Boy, and he had him open, and that was one of those ones he could have turned upfield. Yeah, that's one of the few bad throws we've seen from Diorio tonight.
And Diorio knew how much that
ball,
pass.
he just didn't get a lot of, I don't know if he was hit or what, but definitely didn't get a lot of
Had some pressure coming from his right, Schulze. I don't know if that presence kind of forced the throw a little bit. 3rd down and long for Garnet. Diorio looking right this time, going deep, and that's going to be well incomplete. Chanel, as well as Trey Potts on the coverage for Sterling. And one of the Garnets hurt on that far side. And this is the game right here on this play.
Yeah, it is. You got timeouts, but that Heights has, but this would go a long way. A stop right here in sealing this win up.
Both teams going to have a chance to collect themselves for this 4th down play. Obviously, if Sterling can hold, they should hold on for a victory. But again, Heights with 3 timeouts.
Yeah.
So should they get a 3 and out, they will get the ball back with a minimal amount of time, but you never know. Looking at the upcoming schedule for Sterling, they are hosting their next 2 games, pretty much the entire month of October. They're away. And 2 real big home contests coming up, and some tough ones in Paulsboro and West Effort.
Back-to-back games, and they're teams you want to play tough, and these are games that'll basically tell you where you're at and what type of team you have moving forward.
But you got to get through tonight. 1:58 remaining on the 4th quarter clock. 4th down and long. The Garnets have to get to the 37-yard line for a 1st down. Diorio being pressured by Schultz. Diorio looking up. Passes picked off by Sterling, and they take over inside the 30. Mike Estremera has done it all tonight. A pair of touchdowns and what could be the game-winning interception.
Yeah, and as the defense put a lot of pressure on Diorio, rolling to this right side, wasn't able to get enough on it. Looked like it might even slipped out of his hands, but in any event, a big interception, and this is where you get hit. Don't go for that extra yard at the expense of keeping the ball loose. 2 hands around the ball, because obviously Heights, with the 2nd man in, is going to be looking to strip this ball. And that's
Sterling going to just kneel on it here, force
Richardson. Well, they're good. They still have their timeout. So
sorry, that was Richardson on the carry.
Yeah, a 1st down obviously will seal it. But a good job by Richardson, as he took on contact, had both hands wrapped around that ball.
And there's plenty of highlights, some Mike Estremera highlight show coming up. You can check that out on YouTube /Sterling TV19. And what a week. 3 weeks in a row, Mike Estremera.
5th touchdown.
5 touchdowns.
Year. So and you knew from looking at Mike Estremera.
There's the phones, and I think that's a Sterling faithful trying to usher the Haddon Heights crowd. Giving them a nice little
security's over there.
Yeah. These fans have become, we talked about this before the game even started, about how passionate the fans have gotten, and the student body has been such a big part of this. As run again in a subsequent timeout by Richardson, but the fan support has been great, and it's been building year over year over year. There were some lean years here where we showed up and the fans really weren't out here. The student body didn't really get a chance to latch on board, and now they're interacting with the fans, and the cheerleaders and the band. It's great.
The energy from the get-go was just outstanding.
interesting scenario on that
Yeah,
far
you
side
want
of
to
the
make
field.
sure everything
Got to be smart about.
stays
Keep it proper.
stays proper, right? Yep.
Be smart about your excitement about your team. And I think the security has ushered those fans away. What looked to be a pretty cool sight from where we were. I'm sure that there were some words being said, and cooler heads thankfully prevailed. First down seals it, and Sterling gets it, and they will lock up this game. Nice carry there by Jacob Johnson to get the extra yardage, and for all intent and purposes,
take a knee from here.
Take a knee, and with 93 seconds remaining, that should do it.
Well, hard fought for a win, and I don't know that people thought Heights was going to be able to come in and do what they did. But I'll tell you what, I got to give credit to them. They played better and had more weapons on this team than I thought. And Sterling right now looks to be able to come away with a hard fought for win.
Back in 1964, Sterling had its first outside graduation.
So 2 big home contests coming up for Sterling in West Deptford and Paulsboro. What do you expect out of that, Schulze?
Well, the old cliche, take it one game at a time, and it's a big challenge ahead for these kids, and just embrace it. Go after them. If you get there, and the biggest thing about playing a West Deptford or Paulsboro, we saw it last week against Haddonfield. If they come at you with a big play, you got to come right back at them. And I was impressed with what Sterling did last week in getting down 13-0, but still firing back. And going into the fourth quarter, we're still in the game. So, this is a team that's definitely got a lot of fight in them. And you're going to need all that next week against West Deptford.
So who do you think is probably the player of the game?
Well, you got to say Mike Estramera with 2 touchdowns. Yep.
And the interception to seal it.
I would also give it to Williams. Getting the most.
Yeah, you know what? That's a good point, John, because not only the touchdown, but that was a huge run off to that left side to keep things going. That's a great point there, John.
Kneel down. Imminent for Sterling, under 30 seconds. And that will do it. Sterling hangs on to defeat Haddon Heights 27-19. Mike Estramera, a pair of touchdowns from Jeremiah Thompson. That's their 5th connection
we're
this season through 3 games.
A lot of that moving forward, no question about it.
Make sure you stick around next Friday night. Sterling will host West Deptford right here on Channel 19 while we pregame for you around 6:30. Game action at 7 o'clock. For Kevin Schulz, John Hallwood, Tad Kozaneski, and the entire Channel 19 crew, always doing such a great job. I'm Rob Strauss. We'll see you next weekend.